Arby's, you suck. You're cheating people's money. It doesn't matter if you're busy, quality and quantity should be the same. I paid for a large fry, and you gave us as much fries as we could have gotten if you bought a small. You can't charge for a large when you're giving a small. Went to get breakfast immediately after another customer was in line to get breakfast. The cashier, John, told me no more breakfast after the person I was just standing behind. Not cool, and he really it was a time issue because at John and the customer was chit-chatting the whole time. If you want to know what rude is, come and visit Arby's. Ask for Tiona, as she is the model of rudeness. The manager is standing there when she is bitching, and I told the manager if he saw that of how rude Tiona was. Manager goes, "Yes, we know, she has an attitude," and said I will talk to her. Lol, okay. This was my first visit to Arby's. As soon as I opened the door, I smelled urine, which ruined my appetite. Then I left immediately. I have granted Arby's more lives than a cat. The food merits more stars, but despite the actual product and great deals, this restaurant is still unacceptable. Yesterday I waited a full 15 minutes for 2 French dip and Swiss sandwiches. Alas, poor service lives eternally in a social media era. They somehow misplaced or botched this simple order at 5 p.m., a fairly quiet period. I never got an explanation, obviously. No apology was forthcoming. When I finally got them, there were no napkins anywhere, with empty shoes at the main and soda counters. Their somnolent employees should at least clean up the place during lulls in the store's marathon 19-hour operating day. The FDS sandwiches are good, but the Swiss is so melted at the bottom that its flavour barely registers. The AU just makes for great dipping, but there is enough sodium in one bowl to fill a salt shaker, let alone 2. Tables are left dirty for upwards of an hour. Vagrants stroll in to bum rush the soda machine with cups stolen from a Port Authority chain as their colleagues partake of the free Wi-Fi kiosk outside. Basically a depressing extension of the neighbourhood, not an oasis. I like the many outlets which come in handy with the food wait times. Kids occasionally ring their annoying bell in the corner to further enliven the atmosphere. I would play a completely different tune, like taps. Was impressed with the customer service. The man behind the register was very helpful, and the manager offered me a free cookie for having to wait longer than usual for my order. But then, there was a hair in my Philly cheesesteak sandwich, and that all went down the hill. I won't be back. This is the first time I've ever been to Arby's. The only thing I know about it is how Jon Stewart would make fun of them all the time. I figured I owed it to myself to check them out. I had a regular-sized roast beef and cheddar sandwich. It was disgusting. On the plus side, it was only disgusting and not revolting. The Arby tasted like bolognese mixed with rubber. The cheese was bitter and nasty. The bun was fine. The food was definitely 1 star, but the folks behind the counter were super nice, so I bumped it back up to 2 stars for that. But I will never, ever go back. Absurd hours. Open 19 hours a day, an hour later than posted here. The layout is surprisingly intuitive, and the sandwiches aren't quite as bad as the Daily Show, not too far away. Would have you believe, no issues redeeming on a birthday offer, nor their Village Voice ad coupon. My BFF and I saw a commercial for Arby's showing some delicious looking bacon steak sandwiches called the Bourbon. We have not done Arby's in ages since it was like underwater in every aspect you can think of. But recently a new Arby's opened next to the Port Authority bus terminal, and maybe I can get some take out on the way home to try them out. I got the bourbon steak sandwich, which has Angus steak, bourbon sauce, brown sugar bacon, cheddar and crispy onions on roll that's supposed to be toasted but was not, an Angus filly which comes with roasted onions and peppers, Swiss cheese and mayo, a crispy salad that includes bacon and crispy chicken instead of soft. I also got crispy fried onion rings and potato cake, I think triangle shape hash browns. Well, this was what I think about the new Arby's and their food. Bourbon bacon steak sandwich. Didn't do anything for us. Needs more flavour or some AU just sauce to dip it in. Angus filly. Was good due to the roasted peppers. Needs more cheese. Crispy chicken salad. The bacon and crispy chicken is different and not bad for fast food joint. Potato cake. No hash brown enough, meh. Onion rings. Nice and crispy. I would do the Philly cheese steak and onion rings, but the rest is a no-no. It's still fast food made in mass, and cutting the corners cuts the flavour and quality. Okay, I am an Arby's addict. I love Arby's. I can eat so much Arby's. So you can imagine my reaction knowing there would be an Arby's in Manhattan. There is only one other in the entire city. And it is out in Queens. So yes, Arby's right in the smack middle of Manhattan. What? Exactly, so I had to go. I ordered my beef and cheddar meal, the classic Arby's best of. Curl fries, a beef and cheddar sandwich, and a drink. Check out. And no Arby's sauce! They ran out. An Arby's without Arby's sauce is not Arby's. They should have prepared for the onslaught of people eating all the Arby's sauce and had much more on hand. The staff were nice enough to give me a little cup of red ranch sauce instead. But let's be real, I want that beef and cheddar slathered in Arby's sauce. It is how it must be eaten. This location is not great and delicious as the Queen's location. I will be honest and say they didn't stuff the beef and cheddars. The bread was a little powdery tasting, but if it had Arby's sauce, most likely it would have still been done. It would have done the trick. They do have fancy soda machines though, like browsing an iPad for drinks. You can add flavors to every cola, etc. Enjoy. Staff also promised that never again would there be an Arby's sauce shortage, so please check it out and hold them accountable.